Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we're diving deep, about 150 feet down into the turquoise waters off the coast of Adrasan, Turkey. Down there, resting on the seabed, is a snapshot of history, frozen in time for 2,000 years. It's a Roman shipwreck from the 1st century BCE, but it's not just any wreck. Archaeologists have nicknamed it the ceramic wreck, and for good reason. It's a time capsule packed with hundreds of pieces of fine red gloss tableware, what you might call the fine china of the Roman Empire. And it's all astonishingly intact. This isn't a story of scattered fragments. It's the story of a single, captured moment that reveals the intricate web of trade, craftsmanship, and the very real dangers of the sea that defined one of history's most connected eras. The story of the ceramic wreck, also known as the Adrasan plate wreck, actually begins decades before its recent fame. The legendary pioneer of underwater archaeology, George Bass, first surveyed this site back in the 1970s. But it was a 2022 expedition by a team from Akdeniz University that truly unveiled the full scale of this underwater marvel. What their divers found was breathtaking. Unlike most ancient shipwrecks, which are often a chaotic mess scattered by the sinking and centuries of ocean currents, this site presented a scene of haunting order. The cargo, hundreds of plates, bowls, and cups, lay in neat stacks, almost exactly as the crew had arranged them for their final ill-fated voyage. This incredible preservation gives us a rare glimpse into the logistical side of ancient trade. The discovery was so significant that Turkey's Minister of Culture and Tourism, Mehmet Nuri Ersoy, who is a diver himself, descended to the site to see it firsthand. He called it extremely valuable not only for our country but also for the world cultural heritage. The artifacts are now being meticulously preserved, with plans to display them in a new Mediterranean underwater archaeology museum, allowing all of us to connect with this piece of the ancient past. So what exactly was this precious cargo? The heart of the story is the ship's contents, a homogeneous collection of pottery known as Eastern Sigillata A, or ESA. This wasn't a mixed bag of goods. It was a specialized shipment of high-end tableware. The name Sigillata is Latin for stamped, referring to the maker's marks sometimes found on the pottery. ESA was produced from about 140 BCE into the 2nd century CE, and it was the pinnacle of ceramic craftsmanship in the Eastern Mediterranean. It was essentially the first mass-produced fine ware of the Hellenistic East, created to satisfy a growing demand for elegant dining sets, inspired by the lavish banquets of royalty and the wealthy elite. The main production center is believed to have been near ancient Antioch, in modern-day Turkey. Archaeologists have found evidence of kilns there, along with overfired and misfired pieces, which are telltale signs of a production site. The potters in this region built upon a long tradition, refining their techniques to create the distinctive glossy, deep red finish of ESA. They made a wide variety of forms, from plates and bowls to cups and jugs. A unique technical feature you can often see on these vessels is something called a double dipping streak. This is a slightly darker band of red on the pottery. It happened because the potter would dip one half of the vessel into the liquid clay slip and then dip the other half, with the overlapping section getting a double coat that fired to a darker color. The fact that the Adrasan wreck carried a uniform cargo, only ESA plates, cups, and bowls, is hugely important. It suggests this was a merchant ship that took on a single, valuable commodity directly from a production or distribution hub, its entire hold dedicated to one product for one specific market. Such single cargo shipwrecks are an archaeological jackpot, giving us a clear, uncluttered snapshot of ancient commerce. But perhaps the most incredible part of this discovery is how this fragile cargo survived 2 millennia on the seabed. The plates and bowls are not only intact, but their vibrant red colors and delicate designs are almost unscathed. The secret, archaeologists discovered, was an ingenious and previously undocumented method of protective packaging. The ancient merchants had coated the nested stacks of ceramics in raw clay. This simple but brilliant technique created a protective cocoon around the pottery, sealing it off from the corrosive salt water and the abrasive action of sand and currents. It was a natural sealant that perfectly preserved the goods inside. This level of large-scale protective packaging has never been seen so clearly before, making the Adrasan wreck a landmark discovery for understanding the logistics of ancient trade. It shows a sophisticated understanding of the risks involved in maritime transport and a real commitment to ensuring valuable goods arrive safely. To fully appreciate this wreck, we need to understand the world it came from. The ship sank in the 1st century BCE, a pivotal and turbulent time. The old Hellenistic kingdoms, which had been carved out of Alexander the Great's empire, were in decline, and the power of Rome was expanding rapidly eastward. Modern-day Turkey, or Anatolia, was a complex patchwork of territories. While parts of it were already under Roman control, the culture was still dominantly Greek. This was also a period of instability, marked by the Mithridatic Wars between Rome and King Mithridates VI of Pontus. Despite the political upheaval, trade was flourishing. Rome's growing dominance was creating a more integrated Mediterranean economy. The Romans invested heavily in securing the sea lanes, most famously with Pompey the Great's campaign against pirates in 67 BCE, which made the Mediterranean safer for commerce than ever before. Roman cities were hungry for goods, from essentials like grain to luxuries from across the known world. Fine tableware, like Eastern Sigillata A, was part of this booming consumer culture. Its discovery in sites from the Levant to Italy itself shows just how connected the Roman world was. The Adrasan ship was just one small cog in a vast economic machine that was transforming the ancient world. Of course, this ship also tells a human story, the story of its unnamed crew. Life for a Roman mariner was defined by hardship, skill, and constant risk. Merchant ships of the era, called corbettae, were built for capacity, not comfort. They were fat, round-hulled vessels powered by a single large square sail. On board, life was Spartan. Only the captain might have a small cabin. The crew and any passengers slept on the open deck. The diet was grim, likely consisting of hard bread that had to be softened in water or salty fish sauce and watered-down wine. The greatest danger was the sea itself. The Mediterranean can turn violent with terrifying speed. The sailing season was generally limited to the months between May and September. To sail in winter, when the sea was considered closed or mare clausum, was to court disaster. Shipwrecks were common. Some scholars estimate as many as 1 in 5 sea journeys ended in a wreck. The crew of the Adrasan ship was a skilled group. The captain relied on a navigator who understood the stars and the winds. Deckhands managed the complex rigging. They were superstitious people, offering prayers to the gods for a safe voyage. But in the end, their skill and their faith weren't enough. Their luck ran out, leaving their vessel as a poignant memorial to the perils of ancient seafaring. Bringing this story to light is a feat of modern science. Underwater archaeology is a highly specialized field. Before anything is moved, the entire wreck site is meticulously mapped, photographed, and recorded using a grid system. This context is vital. To clear away centuries of mud and sand, archaeologists use tools like water dredges and airlifts, which gently suction away sediment without harming the artifacts. Once an artifact reaches the surface, the race against time begins. Objects submerged for centuries are in a fragile chemical balance with the salt water. If they dry out too quickly, salt crystals inside the porous ceramic will expand and shatter the object from within. The critical first step is desalination, a long process of soaking the artifacts in baths of fresh water to slowly leach out the salt. This can take months. Only then can the pieces be safely dried, strengthened with consolidants, and painstakingly pieced back together by conservators, like a 2,000-year-old jigsaw puzzle. So why does one shipwreck matter so much? The Adrasan plate wreck is more than just a collection of beautiful objects. It's a key piece of evidence that helps us build a picture of the massive Roman economy. The single, uniform cargo points to a highly specialized system of production and distribution. Its location places it on a major trade artery connecting the production centers of the East with the consumers of the West. The economic value of this cargo would have been significant, and the investment in specialized packaging shows that the merchant expected a handsome profit. By analyzing shipwrecks like this one, scholars can reconstruct trade routes, calculate the volume of goods being moved, and understand the economic ties that bound the empire together. The ceramic wreck, with its perfectly preserved, homogeneous cargo, is an exceptionally clear and valuable data point in that effort. This discovery is a profound reminder of how the past can speak to us. Locked away in the silent depths, this sunken ship and its shimmering red cargo have preserved a story of craftsmanship, commerce, and human ambition. It's the story of the artisans in ancient workshops, the merchants who financed the journey, and the sailors who risked everything on the open sea. Thanks to the dedicated work of archaeologists and conservators, the ceramic wreck is giving up its secrets, offering us a tangible link to the bustling world of the Roman Empire. As these beautiful plates and bowls are brought back into the light, they serve as ambassadors from another time, inviting us to explore the rich and complex tapestry of our shared human history, a history that is so often found in the most unexpected places, waiting to be rediscovered beneath the waves. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.